Namaskaram, sir. Today we have with us Dr. Seshadri Ramkumar. Please join me in giving him a very, very warm welcome today. Thank you. Dr. Seshadri Ramkumar is a tenured full professor of material science at Texas Tech University. In this capacity, for the past 25 years, he has been serving as a bridge between the US and India in science, technology, as well as Sanatana Dharmam. A player of classical violin, he is a strong supporter of art forms like music. His sustained efforts in the Indo-USA collaboration enabled India to save lives during COVID-19, for which he has received the honorary membership of the world's leading professional association, Textile Association, India. This award has been bestowed to eminent personalities like Vikram Sarabhai, father of Indian space science. Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, Shri Bhupendrabhai Patel, gave this award to Professor Ramkumar. Dr. Ramkumar, yes. Dr. Ramkumar serves as an adjunct professor at International Hindu University and teaches courses on Sanatana Dharma and Bhakti. His dharmic efforts were recognized with Lifetime Achievement Award by Indian Science Monitor. Previous awardees include Professor Ramodam Narasimha of IISc Bangalore, Professor V. Kamakoti, current director of IIT Madras. He guides students in Bhakti and related topics for PhD at International Hindu University, of which Srimati Bhargavi Seshadri is one. He delivers weekly lectures on life management and Sri Ramayan at the Hindu temple, which looks at Ramayan as a life guidebook. Thank you so much for being with us today, sir. Please join me in welcoming sir today with a big round of applause.
Okay, Namaskar, good evening, thank you. I was really thrilled when Bhargavi Seshadri asked me to do this, but that also led me to know a little bit more about Bhargavi, that she has been doing this annual event for past 11 years and this is the 12th year. And more importantly, I was very amazed in a way to know that she has about 60 students. I wish I could have that in my Sanatana Dharma class. Of course, in daytime job as a professor of engineering, we do get that many students. That's not an issue. So, and more importantly, it's very thrilling. Not only I'm going to talk about the subject that's very near and dear to me, I also want to congratulate the parents and family, because I have a son who is in high school, who is musically inclined, but still it is a tough job to get them to extracurricular activities as academics and sports compete. With these constraints, I was very, very surprised to see Bhargavi is able to attract this many students. And she said that 60 times 3 is 180 people, grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad. So look like around 200 people are at least in this group. So that's, in fact, a laudable one. And again, I'm also very thrilled this evening is not many times I get a chance to tout about a student, Bhargavi Seshadri. She's doing a PhD under me, its namesake under me. I would get to know a lot from her because she has taken a subject, I think, which is, she's more competent than I on that subject, on Kannada Haridasa Padas, Haridasa poems and life management. So it's going to be a fun ride for next 2 to 3 years. So I'm here to support a worthy cause of my own student, who is also teaching in International Hindu University. So she has done something very unique, which will be benefit to the students of Nrityaranga Academy Arts, Performance Academy Arts Group, which I will tell you at the end. So with that kind of introduction, I'm really thrilled to be here, that too in the month of December. If it is December in Chennai, Madras, the whole city gets into a positive way of tailspin. It's called December season or Margari season. And this is happening for past 98 years, since 1929, non-stop every year. From December to January, the entire city turns upside down with programs in music, dance, lectures from Sabha to Sabha. Not only the good music, good dance, but also good food. These days, the attraction is in these sabhas for their canteens and vada, sambar, idli, whether it is a kanchi idli or Mysore rasa or Karnataka Bishibela Bath. So it's a season for joy and fun. And even in India, not many cities do. I think if my recollection or memory serves me correctly, it's Chennai, of course, the hub of December season, then Calcutta and Pune. Not even Bengaluru and Mumbai do this in such a fashion. So I am very thrilled to see that Bhargavi has been doing this for 12 years. And it is very important to engage with the public. And perhaps I am asking her to bring some lectures. In fact, Madras Music Academy is the Kennedy Center or Victoria Albert Hall for Carnatic music, and they make a particular importance to attract some senior people, including scientists, for their inaugural ceremony to give a talk. So how does this science of music and dance reach outside the common people? To me, I was born in a family where music and Vedas and Sanskrits were part of living DNA. So it's nothing new to us. But this has to reach outside the core group, outside the crux. So I'm very thrilled that being in New Jersey, she is doing it. And in fact, she forced me to attend. And she has a very good habit of forcing me. I won't respond to her email with regard to her PhD. Sir, should I continue? Should I start? I'm going to India in January or so. So I want to buy books. Such kind of enthusiasm. So the students and the family who are in Nrityaranga are under the good tutelage. With that, I'm going to talk about two things. So why are you all, I don't know how much lessons you pay. If you take a piano lesson, it's $60 per hour. I don't know what Bhargavi charges. I leave it up to her and you. But to pay $60 per hour for classes is around $250. That's a steep money for a middle income family of one wage earner. So people count every minute and every money. So what is the benefit? Okay, my girl or my son learns music. That's good. Atma Sukha, Atma Anubhavam. Beyond that, what is it? So I'm going to put forward facts here as a scientist, as a professor. Only yesterday I graduated one more PhD student. So God has been good to me that every year, these past few years, I've been graduating one PhD student. So I know as a scientist, I should place before you for record what is the benefit. So I'm going to talk about this little bit preamble about how this music, dance, and story selling has been part of the Indian way of living, right from the Vedic age to the modern days. When it comes to modern days, I'm going to give you facts how people, scientists, have found that the music, learning of music and dance and any other extracurricular activity enriches the cognitive sense. Okay, it is good that I can talk, I can put some papers and all, but where is the proof? I have a proof, and that proof is sitting in our meeting right now. You see the pair here, Dr. Jayanthi Parthasarathy and her daughter Arti Parthasarathy. They are the living example of how music enriches their way of living, enriches the cognitive skills of Arti. When somebody has learning difficulties, how music and dance enriches their cognitive performance, and they were very gracious enough to come onto this program. Probably Bhargavi's session, this session is perhaps the first session where I am putting out the face for the numbers and facts I am showing, so that every parent, including the grandmas and grandpas visiting from Bharat, could get convinced to show that there is a real story behind the theories and behind the facts and behind the verbiage, I am telling that music and dance enhances the overall personality. And I am also going to present this with pictorial representation to a lot of pictures sent by Nrityaranga's founder, Srimati Bhargavi Seshadri, and Dr. Jayanthi Parthasarathy. And we will take you in a way to their living room in Columbus, Ohio. And Dr. Jayanthi Parthasarathy was a very leading dentist and a scientist in Mayo Children's Hospital working on 3D printing and saving many lives. So we are indeed blessed that they could come. With that, let's go. So I'm going to, in 25 minutes, I'll finish. Probably before that also. And if you have any questions, you can also enter time depending upon the time and depending upon the Zoom allows. I don't know what facility you have in Zoom. Okay, so there are certain new things you will hear, and you all should thank Bhargavi from asking me to talk. So I'm a professor for 27 years. Professors are used to talk, and we have an addiction to the podium and mic. But I will restrict to 25 minutes. Okay. Now, why do we need to study music? My son is an avid piano player, and of course, he is multi-instrument talent. And then he told me, Appa, when you are going to talk about it, you should tell what this music brings. And we all know this prodigy who did not live long, probably 22 or 23 years, passed away, Ludwig van Beethoven. He says, you can play a crap. The notes may not be synchronized. The jadi may not come. The adavu may not come. It's all fine. But you can learn later. As long as you have a passion to learn. That is what I see in Bhargavi. That is what I see in Aarti. And even Dr. Jayanthi Parthasarathy. She is much older than I. I'm not going to tell her age. Even I tell she wouldn't mind. But the passion to play a wrong note is not a problem, is insignificant. But to play or to dance without passion is inexcusable. So what this learning music helps academics, helps sports. Okay, music and dance all comes third or fourth in the priority list. Academics, science bowl, spell bee, Python, all this top list. Because I am a father of a 9th grade son, so I know what we all go through. Seconds comes sports, that too tennis. Academics matches with tennis. Then comes all these musics, Veda learning, Sanskrit learning, all down the list. But what it does, music learning, dance participation increases the passion. If you do not have passion, you don't get into this field. So I didn't tell. Beethoven told. Beethoven is the one who took the classical Western music into the romantic and the structured and the complex one. The 9th symphony. He did 9 symphonies. All this you know. Okay. Now, it creates passion. When you have passion, when passion comes to a middle schooler, to a high schooler, that passion will translate into a lot of things. You don't have to worry padding up your CD. You don't have to worry padding up to go to your uncle and say, Uncle, I just want to do this. Can you write me something that I created a startup? I created a non-profit. I participated in this social activity. Kids pad up. I know because I'm a professor for 27 years. You can clearly see how the kids have padded. It's no way a kid can start, a 12th grade kid can start 2 million startup. Either it is their uncles or father. We know. But that's what the CV is. But if you get into programs where you have to show your worth, you have to do a lesson, you have to do an arangetram, you have to do a recital, and you have to record it to prove that you did it. So, in a way, you are yourself forcing yourself to be a part of an active member of the society. And the Indian way of living or Bharathiya way of living, the one you learn at Nrityaranga, or the one the people come in the Brindhavan, Japam, Vidhyashram, which was founded by Dr. Jayanthi Parthasarathy. There are a lot of parallels between Bhargavi and Dr. Jayanthi here. Dr. Jayanthi is much more senior. Anyway, Dr. Jayanthi indeed started a school for learning difficulty children. Amazing. Life stories are amazing. Probably you may want to get in touch with her later. You Google her, you will find her. So what is it? This kind of involvement in learning music, probably from their own grandma, aunt, learning Sanskrit from their uncle, learning languages from their grandfather. This has been part of Bharatiya way of living. But in the Western part of music or dance, if you look at it, they all say that it started from Greek civilization. But Bharatiya civilization had this for a long time, for ages. And the Vedic way, Vedas talked about music and Nritya. So Vedas in fact specify the name of the instruments. Vedas say that you have to, one portion of Veda has to be sung. Although it is not noted in terms of ragas or something, they have a pattern of singing. Etat samagayan naste. Ah, oo, oo. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannadaha. You see this intonation up and down with this rhythm, with this matra. So it's there, but we didn't connect that to be music. So Vedic way of life in India had poetry, singing. In fact, Rig Veda is an eulogy, songs in praise of the Lord. So we have had this. What happened is, our dharma or our way of living for the kids here who are growing up here like my son, we have to tell them. Once you tell them, they catch because they know the value. This is closely associated with dance. If you see a god, we always associate Ma Saraswati, Prano Devi Saraswati, Vaje Ebir Vajini Vati Dhinama Vitrayavatu. That is Rig Veda. It praises Saraswati, although it is for somebody else. We have been using to praise Saraswati. Saraswati is always associated with Veena. And Lord Krishna is always associated with flute. And Shiva is always associated with dance. I don't have to tell you, you people would know. In fact, thanks to Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, the name that is eulogized so much in your field, she is the one who brought to force all the 108 Karanas. I think Bhargavi would tell from Talapushpa Putam all the way to Ganga Avatarana. She created that, having seen those sculptures in Sidambaram and Peruvudayar Koil in Tanjore. All these gods are more or less associated with instruments or some form of dance. So it is in our DNA. Only thing is we need more tutors like Bhargavi and Dr. Padma Subramaniam and Chitra Visweswaran and so on and so forth. These are big names, and one day I wish Bhargavi is on those lists. Anyway, may it come true. So, but this is when Bhargavi asked me to talk, as a researcher, I wanted to know, is it true, is it factual that we take pride that we are the forerunners or forefathers in bringing this music and dance and art of storytelling. Grandpa and grandma tell the stories of Rama and Mahabharata even before the days of Amar Chitra Katha. So I wanted to know, and then interestingly I found that Sanatana Dharma gave so much respect to this way of living, where music, dance, and discussions and charcha, Vakya Charcha they call, all these played a part. And Purandara Dasa says, how many people are Kannadigas, I don't know. Dharma Sravana Vidadake, Murgake, Dharma Sravana Vidadake. He says, what is the purpose of talking about music and dharma and sarcha to people who are ignoramus? But we should not give up. We need to, I go one step beyond Dasar, that we need to make efforts to reach to the masses. And then I found that even though the Western civilization considers Greek to be the base for their music on all this symphony and operas and all this, it was part of our living, a beautiful sculpture. You go to a temple, you see the sculpture everywhere, every pillar. And there is a place called, it's a sculpture, not only Hoysala things, in Hampi and others. Go down to Kaveri, the basin of Kaveri in Tamil Nadu, full of temples with sculpture. And there is a temple, which I will show you some photographs. There is a temple in Pudukkottai district called Avudayar Koil. It's a sculpture marvel. And there they have shown they have sculptured an image of Lord Shiva with one of those Karanas, and the suspense is In one slide, I will show you. They have changed the role how Lord Shiva dances. I don't know. Bhargavi should also make efforts in her. One new thing she did, which I will tell in my last slide. She should also take kids, whoever can afford, at least to these places where they could see all the karnas and all the mudras, all these is sculptured. There, when you enter a temple, whether it is a temple tower or temple Mahamandapa, this is what you see, particularly in Dravidian sculpture, Vaisla sculpture, and then Chalukya sculptures. Everywhere dance. You can't depict music much. Dance sculptures are everywhere. So it's in the DNA of particularly those on the southern part of Narmada. And what people have found, I found interesting that people have agreed that Bharatiya way of dance and Bharatiya way of singing and projecting them in sculptures, stone sculptures, is significantly different. And there is a great finding by a French philosopher, Sylvain Lee, and he clearly portrays that Bharatiyas have done tremendously far ahead of what other civilizations could do. And more important striking thing is, Aristotle says, okay, the main thing a drama should do is just relay. Okay, if there is a fire, something in a drama, an act of fire is happening, it's okay, just relay, declaim. Declamation is sufficient. No need of action, no need of theatrical thing. So there is no need of Nritya, Gana, Vadya, or Vachaka, or costumes, forget. Whereas for Bharatiya dance, Bhargavi would tell, it needs Abhinaya, Angika, and then words. But somebody sings these days. In those days, people used to sing and dance. And then show the bhava, temperaments. The bhava has to be shown. These are the basic and essential elements of a Nritya or Nataka, which is not the case in Greece. Can you believe the most famous philosopher in the world, Aristotle, says, don't worry. In dramas, declamation, just relay. Okay, somebody died, somebody died. That is enough as long as the drama conveys what is to be told in that story. And he says, the power of tragedy is felt. You can even feel any tragedy happening, somebody dying, without showing any signals, without showing any bhava. How can you do? If I simply talk and not sing, many people will get out of this group. So you need to express some type of bhava, rasa, navarasa. That is part of the innate DNA of the Bharati and Nritya, Nataka, Gana, Vagnyakara. It is part of the system. I was totally shocked to see that the Western culture people take Greece as the receptacle, as the base from which they are. Of course, every culture, every art form is good. I am now known to comment, but I am just placing for records to see how learning Bharatanatyam is not simply 100 years old or 200 years old, age old from the time of Vedic days. And this has been written up in a book, English translation of Natya Sastra, attributed to Bharata Muni. It's been translated to English. And he says, Manamohan Ghosh, 1951, voluminous book, 2 volumes, and he clearly says and elevates, because he has to attract people in 1950s to come into this fold, when we just got independence, to get into the fold of music, dance, and drama. Because those days we only thought Shakespeare was the guru, only Macbeth, only the Merchant of Venice. These are the things people read. Nobody even read Mahabharata and Ramayana. Very minuscule. So he made a point. Hey, people, we were foreigners. To us, expression is important. That is what Bharatanatyam is. Nrityaranga is teaching you to express, to communicate. So it's my view, those who participate in the all these Nritya and art form will one day be a good politician in United States if you want to be. So this is what it is. So this is what I told. Nobody would have seen a dancing Shiva like this. Temple, you enter temples, particularly down south of Narmada, whether it is on the banks of Tungabhadra in the Hampi, or in Shravana Balgol, or in Tamil Nadu, full. or even in Ahobil. That's what you see, granite carved sculptures. And they even entice you. Normally, when you see Shiva, I don't know whether Bhargavi has a image of a dancing Shiva, Natraj. How does Natraj dance? Okay, how does Natraj dance? That is Urdhva Tandava. That is what 180 Karanas are. Okay, how does Shiva dance? Shiva lifts the left leg. Am I right? But in this picture, this temple is, for lack of better word, Mecca for sculpture and dance. I wouldn't even give the credit to Chidambaram. This temple, Avadayar Kovil, you have to go and visit next time. It is the place where the Saint Manika Vachakar got that elation, that effulgence, and he built the temple. Here the Lord Shiva, Urdhva Tandava, is by right leg. Unique sculpture. And in two pillars will have 1008 inner pillars. Just in two pillars. With no cement, with no glue. Just stone pillars. Two pillars will alone have 1000 pillars. Sculptural beauty. And this gives, see, next time when Bhargavi has to be creative, why to lift? When you talk about Nataraja, why to lift left leg? I always give new information. People who attend my lecture know. Lift right leg. Then you will get front page news in Shruti magazine or somewhere. How people have created new novelty, and it is backed by some Purana. Okay, so temples are full of this expression. What I'm saying is, Bharatiya way of living is full of expression. Whether you get a birth of a child, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, all come and show elation, distribute toffees and sugar, chakra. In other cultures, when death happens in the family, the expressions are different. It's part. Whereas British are not known to show emotion. Anyway, so in a way, Indians are known to show emotion, and those emotions are depicted everywhere. Temple was the place of gathering in those days, and you could see this everywhere. Now, then comes the next thing. We go to the next phase where the emotions are written. And the story of Rama and Sita and Lakshman, everybody knows. Ramayana, one of the greatest Ithihasas. And everybody says Ramayana is like a shloka, read. No. Rama listened to the recitation and enaction, not only by set to music. Rama's son Lava and Kush enacted it. Patye geye cha maduram. He says it was sung in music set in 3 tones. Dhruta, Madhyama Kala, Dhurita Kala, and Vilambita Kala. Pramanaihi tribihi anvitam. So Rama said, when Rama listened, Lava and Kusha did it in a slow motion. Vilambita Kala. When Rama was yawning, perhaps they rushed Dhurita Kala. And on most of the times they sang in a Madhyama Kala. Kamartha guna samyuktam dharmartha guna vistaram samudramiva ratnahadyam sarvasruti manoharam. I don't know how many people would know Sanskrit. This Ramayana was attractive to the ears of Ram, attractive to the ears of Lakshman, attractive to the ears of Vasishta. Otherwise Ramayana would not have been carried. So for 32 days, Lava and Kusha, the young people, 7-year-old Lava and Kusha, enacted Ramayana in front of the people, and that's how we have Ramayana today. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Ramayana. So I told you, dance was part of the life which is seen in temple sculptures. And everybody knows Ramayana. Today's Ramayana, Nana, Nani, Grandpa tells Ram and Lakshman, Ram and Ravan took Sita, Ram went across the ocean, killed Ravan and got it. But how did Grandma and Grandpa knew Ramayana? They wouldn't have time to read 24,000 slokas, not many. It's only through this Love and Kusha transmitted by relaying it to the group of Ayodhya people as an enaction, as a drama. Patye geye cha maduram sarvasruti manoharam. Then Bhakti time. So I told you Vedas, certain sections of Vedas are recited with intonations, with swara, and set in some meter. That is known as chandas. Then came Ithihasas. Ithihasas were enacted. Take it from me, it was not just recited. And then comes to Haridasas, 15th century. Like Narahari Tirtha, you know, Bhargavi is from Kannada land, so the start of Bhakti poem and the Carnatic music came from the probably around 13th century. Narahari Tirtha, who was the Purandara Dasa's gurus, Parama Guru, Narahari Tirtha, 13th century. And then came Purandara Dasa around 15th, 16th century. Anyway, so all these Bhakti poems were set in tune. So, Pankol Ayirathu Ippathu. So, NamAzhvar was the forerunner. He's a Tamil Bhakti poet. He set Thiruvaimozhi, which is the Veda for Sri Vaishnavas. He set that in tune, and also he set in tal. And what was the raga used in Thiruvaimozhi? That is the beauty. The raga used in Thiruvaimozhi is not easy to think. I do not know how many people are taught music. I don't know whether Bhargavi insists that Bharatanatyam students learn music. But if you learn music, one of the difficult raga is a Melakarta raga. 28th raga is known as Harikambodhi. So Thiruvaimozhi was sung in Harikambodhi according to NamAzhvar himself, as documented by my family clan's preceptor Manabala Mamani. It was set in a tune in a ragam called Sempalai, but present day Harikambodhi. What is the beauty of Harikambodhi? The beauty of Harikambodhi is it has Antara Gantara. The ni sari ga ma ga and ma are very close. Ma ga ri sa ni da. Harikambodhi is difficult to sing. So NamAzhvar made sure that he puts all the efforts. So that, you see, Bhakti poems are all sung in Harikambodhi. And NamAzhvar in several places, Agachandri himself says that when you sing about the Lord, you have to put some tune and lajja bittu gajjaga madanam. You have to forego